Alright, everybody, welcome. This is Alex from Final Stop for Final Fantasy Talks, and I'm going to be getting going on my own challenge run here of Final Fantasy X. Of course, you guys have probably seen what Mark has going on. He's got a challenge on Final Fantasy X, as well as a challenge going on Final Fantasy XII that he's recording and uploading to our YouTube channel. So for mine, I'm going to be doing a reversed roles challenge in which I take some of the typical physical attackers like Tidus, Wakka, and Auron and changing up their roles. So let's get on into it. So for this game, I'm going to go with Expert Sphere Grid because I'm not worried about maxing out their stats. I'm worried about their mobility around the Sphere Grid. And this one typically has the most flexibility with that. I'm gonna go with original. Let's do it. Alright guys, so I'm really excited to get going on this. This is gonna be a fun challenge to go with. And just one of my favorite games. I mean, as a lot of you guys probably feel if you're following us and you've been big fans of Final Fantasy for quite a while, you just know how amazing this game is, and you know, this game definitely has a lot of, I have a lot of nostalgia with it. You know, I was playing this back in the early and mid 2000s. Absolutely loved it. I think it's one of my favorite turn-based systems in the series. It's really, really good. And I think also another cool thing about this game is just the customization potential for this. You know, I mean, and that's kind of part of the reason why I'm doing this challenge, is there's so many different things that you can do with your characters. I mean, it's crazy, to be honest. So, one thing I will say though is it does take a little bit of little bit of time before you finally get to be able to fully do what you want to do with your characters, because of sphere levels, items, so on and so forth. Just gonna let this scene play out.
Listen to my story. This may be our last chance.
Oh man. Oh, I love that intro. Really do. I think it's just so great that they foreshadow like that. I'm not gonna spoil it, obviously, but if you played this game, you know exactly what I'm talking about and what's going on there. But yeah, it's just such an amazing story. It's got so many levels of complexity to it too. I mean, you know, I guess like a lot of games, and particularly in Final Fantasy, where the focus is on storytelling and depth, you can play this game multiple times to really get a deep understanding of the background and everything in the world of Spira. So, let me just say real quick too that this isn't really formatted to be a walkthrough or anything like that. I am going to get a lot of the items in this game. I don't know how far I'm going to go into the post-game type stuff, like the monster arena, you know, getting all the items, etc., etc. Just be forewarned, I am going to call Tidus, not Tidus. I've heard that. It's just personal. I've always called him Tidus. It's just how I would say it normally.
Take it easy.
Anyways, so yeah, this isn't going to be your typical walkthrough. This is, like I said, going to be a challenge run. It's not going to be one of the craziest challenger runs ever done for Final Fantasy X, but I think it's going to be pretty fun and interesting.
Nothing to worry about. Oh, if I score a goal, I'll do this. That will mean it was for you, okay? What seat?
He's blocking the front row! Fifth from the right!
Got it.
Oh, smooth, Tidus, smooth. I love that.
Well, gotta go. Cheer for me.
Two, three.
Teach us how to blitz!
Classic.
Hey, I got a game to play.
Yeah, maybe
Teach us after.
next week.
Maybe tonight?
Nope.
Well,
You can't tonight.
I mean,
Who
tomorrow.
are you?
Promise?
Promise.
Love the fact that he's not the slightest weirded out by that. Like, who is that kid that knows his schedule? Just like, okay, no, hold on, I got your calendar right here. You're not free tonight. So, yeah, something pretty major is gonna happen. But you know, Tidus is just like going with it. Doesn't think twice. He's like, okay, whoever you are, thanks for getting me out of that commitment. I didn't want to do that tonight anyways. I'm gonna go see the girls, pretty much. That's what he's thinking.
I was in a coffee shop running away from home when I heard the news. Our hero, Jecht, gone, vanished into thin air. My dad must have been his biggest fan. I knew how sad he'd be. Heck, we all were that day. Zanar, I says to myself, what are you thinking? I went running straight back home. We sat up talking about Jecht all night. My dad and I never talked so much. Whoa, didn't mean to reminisce, folks.
Booyah.
Anyway.
Alright,
10
sorry
years
guys, I'm
later,
gonna have
the
to
Jecht
cut that
Memorial
off.
Cup tournament is today.
Sorry, Zanar. Can't hear what you gotta say, buddy. It's just too long.
Make way, make way!
Yeah, so,
Coming through, sorry.
you know, it is what it is. I'm
Hey,
doing this for
I'm
the
gonna
challenge
be
run,
late.
for mainly like the battle strategy and
Hey,
things like
let
that.
go
Not
of
so
me.
much for fleshing out the scenes and all that kind of stuff. That's what me and Mark do on the podcast anyway, so this is just gonna be for basically entertainment purposes on, you know, in battles and like I said, if I get into post game battles and things like that. But oh man, this scene right here, amazing. And the legend appears. Man, I mean, talk about one of the greatest characters in all Final Fantasy, right? I mean, honestly, if you played this game and you played other Final Fantasies, Auron has got to be up there in terms of like some of the greatest characters in the series. I mean, I really think, I just think, you know, his story is just so well written. Dang, Tidus! Thought you only had 4 attack or something. Yeah, when we get into Blitzball, Tidus, he's not going to be knocking anybody out of the sphere pool. You know, one funny thing I posted on Instagram too was to think about how good the Zanarkand aids actually would have been in the game. You know what I mean? Like, what their stats would have been in Blitzball and things like that. It's kind of fun to think about. It'd be nice if somebody could do a mod, but unfortunately they'd have to, like, pretty much introduce all new character models. You know, for their uniforms and all that kind of stuff. It'd be really intense. It'd almost be like a new game for somebody to do that, so... Oh, here we go! Man, what an intro. I never get sick of this game. I gotta tell you guys, honestly. And Mark can attest to this. You know, I played this game so many times. So many times. And you know what? I still love it. And can still play it even to this day.
Auron! What are you doing here?
I'm sure there's games out there you guys feel the same about. I mean,
What are you talking about?
yeah, like within reason, you know, if you play any game enough, you're gonna get sick of it. But if I give this like good breaks and everything, I just love to go back and revisit Final Fantasy X. So, as far as the challenge goes on this game, it's gonna be quite a while before the challenge actually appears, if you know what I'm saying. Because they're gonna be base stats for quite a while until I get them into their new roles. So, you know, I'm gonna have to move them around and get them onto the different roles, and then it's gonna take a while for them to develop. So I think the challenge to begin with is gonna be their low stats. So it might be quite grindy. There's gonna be long battles, things like that. But
What the?
I've never actually finished the game doing this, so I think it'd be kind of fun to do.
Hey, wait! Hey, not this way.
And should be quite challenging too, considering they're going to be at such low stats for such a long time. Because, you know, of course, you don't get that many magic spheres, strength spheres, anything like that, so. But, I mean, other than that, as far as the rules go, I'm not going to have any other rules implemented here. I mean, obviously no cheat moves like Riku's mix, I'll try not to use that too much. Or Wakka's attack reels, the notorious attack reels. It's too easily abused. Other than that, everything's fair game. I'm not going to be grinding very much in terms of extra battles or just, you know, needlessly leveling up and boosting their stats and things like that. I'm not going to do anything like that unless I need to. And that would be the sort of case in which I get stuck at a boss battle and I can't beat him any other way. So.
Take it. A gift from Jekt.
My old man?
My old man?
I hope you know how to use it.
Well, Auron, now that you mentioned that, he does. That's one thing Mark mentioned I thought was pretty funny. You know,
Don't matter. We cut through.
he doesn't know how to wield his sword right before. Now he knows how to wield it, and everything's all good. So, alright, yeah. So, the other thing I'll point out too is that for that reason, about this challenge not being super, you know, difficult until later in the game, which I think is going to be the entertaining part, it's almost going to be like a speed run. I'm just going to be literally trying to get through these guys as quickly as possible. Through a lot of the story. I might talk to some NPCs and things like that, but I'm not going to be doing too much other than getting the treasures, buying items, you know, and pretty much just progressing the story. So, yeah, like I said, it is going to be a little bit like a low-level run, but it's going to be fun. I'm going to have Tidus take on Lulu's path, so he's going to be my black mage. I'm going to have Wakka take on Yuna's, so he's going to be my white mage. And I think that'll be pretty useful considering the amount of times you have to deal with underwater areas where all you've got is Wakka, Tidus, and Rikku. So I think it'd be pretty nice to have some black magic and some white magic there. Let's see, so I'm going to have Lulu be Auron. I'm going to have Yuna be Tidus. And Kimahri's going to be Rikku. And Rikku, I'm gonna think what I... Oh yeah, Auron's gonna be Wakka, Rikku I'm not 100% sure. Alright guys, I'm playing on Steam, so I might mess this up pretty bad. Yeah, I did. Never mind. I always get B and A confused. I'm so used to PlayStation that, you know, I'm used to like X, triangle, square, and circle. Alright. So, of course, this guy cannot kill you. I'm holding on to Tidus's overdrive for a very specific reason. But... man, how did they come up with the concept of these enemies? You know what I mean? It's so strange. It's like a squid or an octopus or something like that. Which is bizarre. I always think about that kind of stuff while I'm playing through these games is, you know, how they came up with the concept, how they drew the scenes and the backgrounds and the locations. I mean, the detail they have in here is really amazing. Alright, one more hit, come on. Hard thing. One or two. So, on some other notes, you know, we hope that you guys are really enjoying the podcast. We're loving the feedback that we're getting on Instagram and things like that. We're getting a lot more interaction these days, which is awesome. We might have mentioned this before, but you know, the reason why we do this is we just love Final Fantasy, and we talk about it all the time, so we figured, why not make a podcast about it? Why not talk about it and, you know, let everybody else in on it as well. So when it comes to Instagram and things like that, we love to hear you guys' thoughts and different perspectives.
What are you laughing at, old man? Auron, let's get out of here.
We're expected.
Huh? Give me a break, man.
Yeah, this first part can drag on for quite a while. And it's funny, you know, this is another one of those games too, kind of like Final Fantasy 13, where it's extremely linear, especially for the first, you know, well, actually, really for most of the game. But in terms of the gameplay and things open up a little bit quicker than Final Fantasy 13, that's for sure. Yeah, doesn't really matter what you do here, of course, you can't really die. However, just a funny thing to note, this is kind of one of those areas, if you're trying to get all the overdrive modes, this is where you probably want to kill Auron or Tidus and get their loner overdrive modes. I've seen some things about that, it's not my style, because at the end of the day, it's like unless you're a completionist or something, those overdrive modes aren't that useful. I mean, think about it, you're never going to have loner on, and the only time it, you know, fills is when that character's alone. It's like, what to do? So, yeah. But, I mean, no strategy here, as, again, if you played this game, you know there really is no strategy needed for quite some time. It's pretty much just keep your guys alive, keep their health up, and just attack, for the most part. Where are you going, Tidus? What the heck was that, man? I don't understand how he's, like, blown forward and the next thing you know, he's standing there. But, okay.
Go.
Alright, guys, ready for it? Ready for it? This is the jump. Here we go. Woo! Man! Look at that! I gotta say, I don't know too many people that can jump 30 feet off of one leg like that.
Auron! Auron!
sure. This is it. This is your story.
Who was he talking to a second ago?
It all begins here.
Things are about to get trippy.
Hey. Hey!
Hey.
My old man?
Oh man. Yeah. If you played the game before and beaten it too, does this location look familiar? Not gonna spoil it. For those who know, you know.
I thought about a lot of things. Like where I was, what I got myself into. I started to feel lightheaded, and then sleepy. I think I had a dream of being alone. I wanted someone, anyone beside me, so I didn't have to feel alone anymore. Anybody there? Auron! Hey!
The echo when he does that. Hey. But you know, put yourself in his shoes. This would be a pretty crazy situation. You have no idea where you are. It appears that Zanarkand just got absolutely decimated. So here we go. You know, I said I wasn't going to interact with too much, but this is one thing I will, because it's really interesting. So Makalania was the only thing we could make out there.
What do we have here? Nope, can't read it.
Now that says something very important. But unless you have another save game, something like that, you're not going to be able to read it. However, I am going to import the Albed dictionary from another game because I just think it's kind of cool to be able to see what they're saying throughout the game. And also, like I said, this isn't like a storytelling walkthrough or anything like that, so if you're watching this, it's really all about the challenge I'm going to be doing, so let's do it. I actually don't even have any. Yeah, maybe that was okay. Go. Okay. Oh shoot. I need to compile it. Oh man. My bad. Like a... What the heck? Oh. Alright. Let's keep moving. Did I get the item? I did. for this first episode, just trying to get to the Al Bhed ship, so I can show you guys a little bit of the sphere grid moves I'm going to be making here. I love the music in this game too. I mean, every time, like, honestly guys, playing this right now, I'm really enjoying this. But the music is so ominous and just fits the scenario so well. Alright, it's about to go down. Come on. There we go. Oh, I love that entrance. That battle music, though. Oh, and a preemptive. Okay. I'm gonna hold on to my overdrive still. Not that it really matters, but... Yep. Just another staged battle here. You can't win, can't lose. It's funny how his attacks are changed though. So I mean, you know, if you've beaten this guy before, you know that he uses KO punch, stone punch, things like that. Here he does like a punch that is basically like a demi punch or something like that. It does about half your HP. Pretty funny because if he had KO punch, obviously it'd just be a game over. So, make for a very short game. But yeah, it's one of the things I love about this part is coming back here and getting revenge on this guy later. Oh, so sweet. And I will say I'll definitely be doing that.
I had made it out of the frying pan and into the freezer. I thought I was gonna die in this place.
One of my favorite OSTs in this game coming up here. How does he move that? What the? Every time I see that, it's so funny, like, he just effortlessly moves this giant column that looks like it weighs about 10 tons aside. But, you know, it's Final Fantasy, there's no point trying to be logical about it, right? Alright, Tidus, we'll get you some fire, buddy.